Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round 3 of the league tournament that happened at Die Hard Games on July 18th, 2024. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format everyone wants. More info in the description. League Cup, Saturday, July 20th, 10 a.m. Central at Die Hard Games. And check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shop, such as League Challenges, League Cups, pre-releases, and more. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this final game. On the left, we have Arceus Giratina, and on the right, Gardevoir. Radiant Charizard versus Fluttermane, currently one of the worst starters versus probably one of the best starters, as Giratina is put onto the bench and things are passed over, oh no, to our Gardevoir player, who slams Aralds and a Buddy Buddy Poffin. That card allows the player to search their deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less. It looks like the targets are going to be double Ralts here. Most importantly, our Arceus Giratina player did not get an Arceus in play. They got the Giratina, but not the more important one to have turn 1. The deck usually plays 4 Arceus V, as well as 4 Nest Ball and other ball search cards to be able to find that key card on turn 1. That was a fail here, as the Buddy Buddy Poffin is resolved. 3 Ralts on the bench, turn 1. Oh my gosh, another Buddy Buddy Poffin. I just had a flashback of a double Battle VIP pass, turn 1. This is basically the same thing here for this Gardevoir deck. As a side note, I do have some last year's format videos to commentate over still. I give the priority to the more recent ones, since recency bias, I guess. But if anybody wants to see some of those last year's format videos sooner than later, let me know in the comments. Shiny Drifloon is found and put onto the bench. That shiny Drifloon has the same attack as the regular Drifloon, you know. Balloon Blast. Once it gets damage counters on it, it does big damage. 30 times the amount of damage counters on it that Balloon Blast does on that Drifloon. As play resumes over on Arceus' side, Giratina V's and Radiant Charizard's side, Choice Band attached to the active Radiant Charizard. And a judge is played. Let's leave it up to the judge, right? That supporter card has both players shuffle their hands into their deck, and then they each draw 4 cards from the top. The great equalizer here. Usually it's great to combo this with a Bibarel in play. That's okay. Let's keep drawing cards and try to find that Arceus V. That would be a win here, along with a energy to attach to that Arceus V. There is an Ultra Ball in hand, but I don't think I see an energy. I think you still go for the Arceus if you can afford to discard some cards with Ultra Ball, but no, just going to pass things back over to our Gardevoir player. Okay, so here we go. Time to use some exclusive Professor's Lab technology here. As our Gardevoir player starts their turn, and they have to show their opponent what the judge hand was, and then what the top deck for turn was. So basically a perfect turn 2 after a perfect turn 1. Double Curlia in hand. Top decked another Curlia. 2 energy to get into the discard pile with Curlio's refinement ability and keep this Gardevoir EX's deck strategy going. Yep, we'll take that. Triple Curlia, hit the bench here. As the first refinement discards a psychic energy to draw 2 more cards. Second refinement discards another psychic energy to draw 2 more cards. We like the psychic energy in the discard pile as the Gardevoir player here, of course, because Gardevoir has the Psychic Embrace ability to accelerate psychic energy from the discard to psychic Pokemon in play. At the cost of that, Pokemon takes 2 damage counters for every psychic energy accelerated that way. Next is a League Arven Basic being played, supporter that lets you get 2 cards from the deck, an item card and a tool card. TM Evolution is the tool card. Earthen Vessel's the item. Earthen Vessel's very nice because we can see some more psychic energy. There's enough Curly in play, we can get rid of one of them with Earthen Vessel, discard a card, and search the deck for 2 basic energy. Darkness energy is found along with the psychic energy. That means a Monkey Dory could be taking up that 5th bench slot very shortly. There it is. Or should I say, ooh, there it is. Monkey Dory likes the darkness energy attached to it because that activates its Adrenabrain ability to move damage counters from its side of the board to the other side. Move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That just puts this Gardevoir even more over the edge, as actually a Psychic Energy is going to be attached to the active Fluttermane. Fluttermane is going to use a Technical Machine Evolution tool to use the Evolution attack to evolve up to 2 Pokemon on the bench from the deck. Looks like the Gardevoir EX is just going to be established now, and say this board state is just exactly what I need to win the game here. TM Evolution does get discarded at the end of the turn as play continues over on Arceus' side with an Iono. Okay, there's a supporter. Another supporter. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of the deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. Both players get 6 here. Let's see if we finally have found the Arceus V along with an energy card. Ultra Ball is played to discard a couple of cards to search the deck for the Arceus V. Grass Energy is attached to it. Okay. Nice, but nicer. 2 turns ago or so. Don't know if there's much else our Arceus player wants to do. Maybe get more Pokemon in play, but just going to pass things over to Gardevoir. Fluttermane in the active spot, so the opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities currently. Just more things to keep in mind, as Curlia discards another energy to the discard and draws 2 more cards. Second Curlia is going to do the exact same thing. We're getting all the psychic energy in the discard pile, all the cards in the hand. I think I even seen an Earthen Vessel in hand that'll be used next to discard a Buddy Poffin in order to search the deck for the 2 darkness energy. Okay, we got them back. Not 1, but 2, like the Hydra. That can be attached to the Monkey Dory manually this turn, and then all the rest of the energy can be accelerated with Gardevoir EX's Psychic Embrace ability. Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain is online now. Hisuian Heavy Ball is played to take a look at the prize cards. You may switch the Heavy Ball with a basic Pokemon you find there. Ralts liberated. Can't join the party just quite yet, as the bench is full. But it's a card you'd much rather have in hand than in the prizes. And let's see what attack will be used this turn. 2 Psychic Energy accelerated onto the active. It'll take up to 40 damage, of course, here. because of Psychic Embrace's cost. Next, Monkey Dory uses its Adrenabrain ability to move 3 damage counters from that Flutter Mane onto the Arceus V. See, you guys seeing the synergy here? Now that Arceus V is softened up a bit more, let's soften it up even more at Flutter Mane's attack. I believe it does 90 to the active and 20 to the bench. It's Hex Hurl attack, for sure. Arceus V Star enters the building. We have to bust out the V-Star marker because next is Arceus V-Star's Starbirth. But not before a switch to move that Arceus into the active spot. We had the basic switch followed by an Iono to actually better inform that Starbirth decision. Arceus V-Star's V-Star Power ability Starbirth. Search your deck for 2 cards during your turn when you flip that V-Star marker over. The board is being built now as a Bidoof and Squovit enter play. Hisuian Heavy Ball of their own being played now, but no Pokemon chosen to be liberated here, if there were any there, basic Pokemon. Hisuian Heavy Ball will go to the discard pile. Next is the Starbirth now for the remaining pieces that the Iono didn't find. Benching an Arceus V and flipping that V-Star marker over for Starburst. Search the deck for any 2 cards. Double Turbo Energy if it's not in hand already. And then Giratina V-Star maybe, if that's not in hand. Bibarel for next turn or just another card for next turn would be my guesses. Trying to take a peek at the hand and see what would be the best cards to find. The Maximum Belt, if that's ever... Yeah, I guess that is kind of relevant to KO Gardevoirs with Giratinas. Yeah. Alright, Giratina V-Star evolves on the bench. Double Turbo Energy attached to the active Arceus V-Star after that. Starbirth was resolved. And now Arceus V-Star attacks with Trinity Nova for 180 damage thanks to that double turbo energy in order to also accelerate 3 basic energy onto Pokemon V in play. Monkey Dory slides into the active spot and play resumes over on its side. Let's see, we've got a fire energy on the Arceus V and Giratina's famous Perp Green attached to that Giratina V-Star, Grass and Psychic Energy. And what are the moves for our Gardevoir player here? Arven first to search the deck for a tool and an item. Bravery Charm and Enhanced Hammer. I'm going to ask this player where they got that Enhanced Hammer from. I know where they got that Bravery Charm from. Enhanced Hammer can get rid of that double turbo, but would you just like to take a KO on that Arceus V-Star? We'll see what our player thinks here. As Nest Ball is played to bring that Screamtail into play. Screamtail has a Roaring Scream attack. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So you could put a Bravery Charm on it to give it plus 50 HP, and then stack lots of damage on it and snipe Pokemon. Enhanced Hammer played to discard that double turbo energy. I think that's the second time I've seen that card played during the Twilight Masquerade format. Just need to play more, I guess. Gardevoir player is using that Adrenabrain there to think of the next best play here, as the nice Bravery Charm is going to potentially be the next turn played. We're seeing how much damage we can do with that Roaring Scream. I'm going to let the players do the math. Now, I might pause it and calculate it, when it's relevant, when it's time. Otherwise, we got to keep things going here. We got the Drifloon as a potential attacker as well. That one has the Balloon Blast, 30 times the amount of damage counters on this Pokemon is the attack damage it deals. You can do the same combo with the Bravery Charm and put that on there, buff its HP, so that way it can take more damage counters from Gardevoir EX's Psychic Embrace. Gardevoir cards always seem to have the aura of energy acceleration following them. Bravery Charm put onto the bench Drifloon. Gardevoir EX accelerates an energy onto the Monkey Dory, so it can take 20 damage and retreat into the Drifloon. No, maybe not quite yet. It looks like our players are talking amongst themselves and saying, is it okay if I did this move first and then save this Bravery Charm attachment for the next thing that I want to try to calculate and do? And our players are chilling, playing some Pokemon. Here on a Thursday night in the shop, we had some free play going on too. Lots of Pokemon going down as the Bravery Charm looks to be attached to the bench Fluttermane. Of course, the Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain ability combos very nicely with the damage that Gardevoir's Psychic Embrace puts onto the Pokemon. Alright, the Monkey Dory retreats. The Gardevoir EX accelerates 5 energy onto the bravest Fluttermane, to the bravest Screamtail here. So 5 energy accelerated means 10 damage counters on that Bravery Charmed Screamtail. 100 damage counters, or excuse me, 10 damage counters means its Roaring Scream is doing 200 damage currently. Okay, now we're doing Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain ability to move 3 of those damage counters from the Screamtail to the bench Arceus with Fire, I think. And next will be a Kirlia's Refinement. Discard a card, draw a card. Let's do it again. We don't need this Ultra Ball anymore, so let's just see some more cards. Okay, nothing else left to do but to attack, it seems. There's 70 damage. Okay, so actually the damage was moved from the Monkey Dories. So 20 damage from the Monkey Dory was put onto the Giratina V-Star. Excuse me. So the Screamtail has 100 damage on it. It can deal 200 damage to a target. And its target seems to be the Giratina V-Star. 220 damage counters. 22 damage counters on the Giratina V-Star. Too many damage counters to keep track of as Bibarel and Arceus V-Star evolve on the bench. Play has resumed over on their side. Ultra Ball and Fire Energy in hand, so we're going to go for the famous computer search, Squovit. It has the Nest Stash ability, shuffle your hand, put it at the bottom of the deck, then draw 1 card. If that card is playable, it's even nicer. If not, it still combos nice with Bibarel's Industrious Incisors. That allows the player to draw up to 5 cards in hand. We're seeing lots of cards now. We need a double turbo energy to attack with the Arceus V-Star. That would be the most efficient attacker here. Really, the bench, the fresh Arceus V-Star would be the best dude to attack with, but instead, no double turbo energy. Jet energy here attached to the bench Giratina V-Star. That allows it to move into the active spot. And next is Magma Basin. just to have it established, because I don't know if there's any fire energy in the discard pile or not. Boss's Orders was the next card that's played to bring up the Kirlia. And are we really going to Lost Impact this Kirlia? Yep, Lost Impact. 280 damage, and you have to send 2 energy to the Lost Zone from your side of the field. Taking a KO on that Kirlia. Now, if it had access to Maximum Belt, the Boss's Orders target could have been the Gardevoir EX for 2 prizes there, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You have to keep the pressure on, I guess. Enhanced Hammer coming in big there as the bravest Screamtail moves to the active spot. Play resumes over on its side. Screamtail's attack, Roaring Scream, is currently doing 200 damage anywhere, so that is enough to KO the active. That has lots of damage on it. 240, something like that. Did we just do a Monkey Dory as well? I have to go back in time to catch that or not. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, so it seems there is a guaranteed KO for the end of the turn. So that's good. I guess you want to get down another Ralts if you can. You already have your attackers out. You have your Gardevoir EX. Adrenabrain is online. Countercatcher is as well, bringing up the Bibarel from the bench to the active spot. Counter card's an item card. You can play it when your opponent has fewer prize cards than you when they're ahead in the game. Countercatcher acts like a Boss's Orders then, bringing up the support Bibarel. It also has 2 retreat cost, so you can Roaring Scream around it and force the opponent to find a switching card or a way to retreat. Still on the hunt for the double turbo energy. As Radiant Greninja is benched, discards a Darkness energy in order to draw 2 more cards with its ability. Concealed cards. All the options in the Gardevoir player's hand. I'm going to continue to apply pressure to the opponent's bench. Roaring Scream, 200 damage to the bench. Fire, Arceus, V-Star. Play resumes over on its side. The thing to watch out for here with spreading all the damage is Professor Turo's, but at this point it may be too little too late. You can only heal 1 Pokemon with Professor Turo's scenario. Didn't like what was in the hand, nothing playable, so Skwovet Nest Stash to draw. Shuffle the cards to the bottom, then draw a card. Bibarel now, the combo to draw 5 more cards. There's the Maximum Belt now. So if we can get this Bibarel out of the active spot and the Giratina V-Star swinging on the 2-prizer, that would be good, but what just happened there? I missed out. Excuse me, Lost Vacuum. Okay. So that was a pretty interesting thing there. The Screamtail has 90 HP base. The Bravery Charm gives it plus 50, so that's why it can have 100 on there, but that Lost Vacuum sending a card to the Lost Zone removes that tool card, and then the Screamtail is knocked out. Mid-turn knockout is always nice, because then you can draw a prize card and use it still that turn. Greninja replaces the Screamtail in the active spot on Gardevoir's side. The Bibarel's still in the active spot. You really can't attack with it either. Its attack costs 3 colorless. So let's judge and see more cards. Hopefully disrupt the opponent enough. But with the Greninja and the Kirlia in play, there's still draw on the opponent's side. So both players shuffle up here and draw 4. Iono for next turn, Bidoof Psychic Energy, so you can attach an energy for a turn, but I think that's about it. I didn't quite see that fourth card. Psychic Energy attached to the bench. Arceus V-Star, probably that has the most HP. And things are passed back over. So now to continue the Screamtail game going, our Gardevoir player has to get that back into the deck with something like Super Rod, and then find it again with a search card. Psychic Energy attached to the active Greninja, and we're going in with Shiny Drifloon. We're going Balloon Blasting here. Now we just maybe want a Gust card. So Curlia, discard a card so I can draw 2. We really don't need the Manaphy in this matchup, I don't think. So it seems like the Gardevoir player is also setting up some Adrenabrain, some future Adrenabrain KOs. I wish I could more clearly see or keep track of all the damage that's out there on the field. Should I start bringing the jumbo D6s? Buddy Buddy Poffin played just to kind of get out of the hand and maybe see what was in the deck. No targets selected off of it. Psychic Energy now being accelerated from the discard pile with Gardevoir EX's Psychic Embrace ability. 2 of them to put 40 damage on the Drifloon. Drifloon's now doing 120 damage with its Balloon Blast, 30 times the amount of damage counters on it. Oh, nope. Just kidding. Adrenabrain moves some of that damage over, 3 damage of it, over to that heavily damaged Arceus V-Star. And Drifloon, nope, we gotta put more energy on that Drifloon. Very crucial catch there. So now Drifloon has 70 plus, so it has 110 now. Okay, 50. We'll just trust the player's math here now. There's enough Drifloon there. Arceus V-Star moves into the active spot. Bidoof put on the bench. Now the Arceus, with 1 more energy attachment, can KO the threatening Bidoof, but just for 1 prize card. Super Rod being played just to put that Bibarel back in the deck. Thinking about the damage now. It had 2 on it so far, and it moved 3 of them on, so it had 10 on it. Now we have enough energy. Yep, with it says 50 energy on it. Perfect. Figured out what happened. Feel better. Now let's move forward with the game. As an Iono is the next card played. You guys know what that supporter card does. Shuffle your hand, put it to the bottom, draw for your remaining prize cards. 3 and 6 here in this mid-game of the final round of the tournament. Did we find an energy card? Can we keep attacking? All crucial questions right now. I found the energy. There is a fire energy in hand, so that gets attached to this Arceus V-Star. I think it has 50 damage on it. And Arceus V-Star does 200 damage, taking the KO on that little Drifloon. Accelerating energy from the deck to Pokemon V. Monkey Dory moves into the active spot. Play resumes over on its side. Let's see, we have to find an attacker here. The Gardevoir EX can always attack as well. It does 190 damage. Curlia first is going to discard that useless card at this point in the game to draw 2 more cards. That useless league exclusive Technical Machine Evolution. Counter Catcher is live, so that item is played to bring up the Radiant Charizard from the bench. That card has 3 retreat for sure. Arvin is the next card played. The supporter that has you get an item card and a tool card. TM Devolution pulled out of the deck this time. That was also being set up apparently with that reset stamp as well. Cresselia put onto the bench. Technical Machine Devolution attached to the active Monkey Dory. That gives it the Devolution attack, and it's exactly what it sounds like. But first, Unfair Stamp. That Ace Spec item card can only be played if your opponent took a KO on their last turn. If they did and you play it, both players shuffle their hands into their deck, and the reset stamp. Unfair Stamp player gets 5 cards, the opponent gets 2 cards. The ultimate disruption, I'll leave that up to you guys. It looks like we are Psychic Embracing now, accelerating Psychic energy from the discard pile to Psychic Pokemon in play. Double Psychic attached to the active Monkey Dory. It takes some damage counters, 4 of them. Adrenabrain will move 3 of them to a Pokemon on their opponent's board. And they go on to an Arceus V-Star. That's not about to get devolved and KO here, I think. Yep, Devolution will devolve all opponents' Pokemon. And since the basic underneath that evolution Pokemon didn't have enough HP to survive the turn with what damage counters were on it, they get KO'd. 4 prizes taken that turn. Or was that the game? Alright, so we're still fully resolving that devolution there. The evolved form goes into the hand. And suddenly, it's 1 prize card to 2 prize cards here in this endgame of the final round. Ultra Ball debating on being played here. And it's played to search the deck for a Pokemon. Evolution or Devolution. The evolution Bibarel is found and established onto the board. Now, is there any way the Arceus Giratina player can take 2 prize cards this turn to win the game instantly? I don't think so. I think Giratina V-Star is the only way. So Jet Energy will be attached to the Arceus V-Star. It's fully powered up and can attack now. It has 100 damage on it, I think. It is now the maximum Arceus V-Star, with that maximum belt being attached. Plus 50 damage to Pokemon EX is what that Ace-Spec does. 0 cards in hand, so Bibarel's Industrious Incisors is next. That finds the player a Nest Ball. Nest Ball will find a basic Pokemon to add to the bench if the player chooses to. You can fail cards like that. Sometimes you could use them just to look through the deck, but maybe at this point in the game it's okay just to get something down onto the board and thin it out of the deck. So the perfect card to do that with is that League Giratina V. Ultra Ball is the next card played now. To find an Arceus V-Star right away. Mostly just thinning that card out of the deck at this point. It gets added to the hand, so the top deck's that much sweeter. If there is another turn, we have the KO for sure. This turn on the Monkey Dory. The TM Devolution should have been discarded, of course. It usually never ends up mattering. And I think that's it. Arceus V-Star KOs Monkey Dory. for one prize card. Players tied with prize cards now. And the Arceus Giratina player just hopes the Gardevoir player doesn't have it. Cresselia moves to the active spot. One prize card to take here. Cresselia can currently do 60 somewhere with its attack. After some Psychic Embraces, of course. Cresselia's Moonglow reverse attack. Move 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Maybe just a pivot here mostly. I just wonder how much damage is on the Arceus V-Star. Arvin is played to search the deck for an item and a tool. And now did the Arvin grab anything? I'm going to go back in time here so we could pay attention to the turn. Okay, of course it found the Super Rod. That's how we got to get our attackers back in the deck, and I think Screamtail just wins the game. No Manaphy in play on the Arceus side. So Super Rod will shuffle back into the deck those important attackers. Screamtail, Drifloon, something else I didn't quite see. Next is Artisan. That stadium allows the player to search their deck for a basic non-Roblox Pokemon like that Drifloon, the bravest Drifloon with the Bravery Charm on it, and you guys know what's about to happen. Gardevoir EX accelerates energy on to the active Cresselia, only so that way it can retreat into the bravest Drifloon. Now, the Gardevoir will accelerate enough psychic energy from the discard pile onto the bravest Drifloon. 5 energy, 10 damage counters, 300 damage onto the active Arceus V-Star for the last prize card of the game. We did it. We got there. Congrats to our league tournament champ, and to you all for playing some Pokemon. Thank you. What'd you think of this video and the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.